It took a really long time for us to build up trust with Shannon, to get her to agree that this is a story worth telling and telling right. We sorted through documents, we filed public records requests, dug through police records and court records to make sure that the story wasn't just interesting but accurate. So it's a big, long, weird, painstaking process that ends up with a story that really matters. My name's Charlie Scudder. I'm a staff reporter at the Dallas Morning News. Even when I was a kid, I had an interest in telling stories. And when I was in high school, I wrote a movie review and took it into the local Colleyville Courier newspaper. And they published it. And it was the coolest thing to see, your words, your name in print. I really strongly, deeply believe in the power of storytelling to help inform us about the world around us. So the Guardian story came out of breaking news. We had this alleged serial killer, these indictments coming, this long investigation that was still underway, and we wanted to find a way to humanize that, to be able to share the story of a person or some people who were directly affected by it, which in this case we found Shannon Dion, whose mother was allegedly killed by the serial killer. So the story starts with Shannon finding her mother, Doris Gleason, dead, and a missing necklace that started to raise some suspicions for her. It was a guardian angel necklace that she always wore, never took off. And when it was missing from her apartment, Shannon started to have some questions, and she started digging into what was going on at the senior living community where her mother lived, and found a series of thefts and deaths, and tried to raise an alarm about this, but didn't get very far. Years later, she got a call from a Plano detective who told her he thought that her mother had been killed by a serial murder suspect. He has since been charged with a number of deaths in North Texas and linked to at least 22. After the story ran, we heard from a lot of readers from all over North Texas and the country. People were in tears talking about how much they were affected by the writing and the reporting. My goal for it was just to tell a good, true story about something going on in our neighborhood, to get people to have an emotional reaction, to have a connection to a story. In the middle of all of this reporting and writing, I got engaged and got married. So we were planning a wedding while trying to interview Shannon and get these documents and make sure the caterer was paid and all that stuff. That life stuff bubbles up even in the middle of the journalism. We know we have a responsibility to our readers and to North Texas. We know that what we're doing has a purpose. We wouldn't be doing all of these things if we didn't know that we're doing it for something bigger than just my own ego. Journalism matters because stories matter. I mean, we've been telling stories for all of humanity. We tell each other stories constantly, and that won't go away. That doesn't go away. We are the kind of newsroom that believes in those kinds of stories and that kind of storytelling. Think local journalism doesn't matter? Think again. Charlie Scudder, reporter, the Dallas Morning News. Real local journalism.